Have you ever had that feeling that there's a conversation happening right in your own home, but you can't understand a single word of it? Well, if you live with a cat, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about. But what if I told you they have a secret language? And today, we're going to learn how to speak it. You know the moment you call their name and maybe you get a little flick of an ear or maybe nothing at all. But is that really them ignoring you? Or could it be that we're the ones who are ignoring the conversation they're trying to have with us? That question right there is at the heart of everything we're about to uncover. So the very first thing we have to get our heads around is that this isn't a one-way street. You're not just talking at your cat. You are being heard. And not just heard. You're being understood on a level that honestly most people just don't realize.
And hey, this isn't just a gut feeling, we've got science to back it up. Researchers published this incredible study in the journal Animal Cognition. They really wanted to know, do cats react differently when they hear their owner's voice compared to a stranger's? And they confirmed what so many of us have always hoped. That special bond is real, and it's something they can actually hear.
Now look at this number. In the study, after listening to a stranger's voice, 10 out of the 16 cats showed this huge spike in their reaction the moment they heard their owners speak. This wasn't some tiny little change. It was a big, significant jump in attention. And the takeaway here is huge. They're not just hearing a sound, they're recognizing you.
So how did they show they were listening? Well, it wasn't always some big, dramatic meow or a leap onto their owner's lap. The signs were much more subtle, but they were crystal clear. A simple turn of the ears toward the sound, a little more movement around the room. Even their pupils got wider. These are all undeniable signs of engagement. They are listening, and they're listening intently. This quote from the actual researchers really gets to the heart of it all. It's not just about them recognizing a voice. It's about the relationship behind that voice. That special one-to-one bond you have with your cat is what makes your voice stand out from all the others. It's literally the foundation of your entire conversation.
Okay, so we've established they're listening to us, but how are they talking back? Well, the answer is with their entire body. Learning to read these quiet, subtle signs is like getting a secret decoder ring for the feline world. Let's start with their ears. Think of them like little satellite dishes that pick up emotions. When they're pointed forward, your cat is tuned in. They're curious, they're engaged with whatever's going on. But the second those ears flatten out and turn to the side, that's a clear signal. It means fear, stress, or that they're just really irritated. They're telling you, I feel threatened right now. And then there's the tail. The tail is basically an emotional barometer. If you see that tail held high, maybe with a little question mark curve at the tip, that is a happy, confident cat. It's their way of saying, hello. But a tail that's all puffed up like a bottle brush or tucked tightly underneath them, that's a cat that is either completely terrified or really, really agitated.
And then there's this, the slow blink. If you ever see your cat do this, you're witnessing one of the most powerful signs of trust they can possibly offer. I mean, think about it. In the animal world, closing your eyes in front of another creature is the ultimate act of vulnerability. So when a cat slow blinks at you, it's saying, I trust you completely. I am safe with you. It's honestly a cat kiss.
All right, so we've got the basics down. But what about all those weird things they do? The sudden frantic grooming, the yawning out of nowhere, the scratching. I promise you, these things are not random. They're actually a very specific and very important form of communication. The key idea here is something called displacement behavior. It's a fancy term for any normal activity, like grooming, that seems totally out of place for the situation. It happens when a cat is feeling conflicted, when it's torn between two different urges, like wanting to check something out, but also being afraid of it. Just think about it for a second. Has your cat ever been startled by a loud noise and then immediately started grooming itself? Or yawned when you know for a fact it's not tired? Or maybe it runs to the scratching post right after a tense moment with another cat? Even little things like licking their nose when they seem anxious or shaking their whole body like they're wet when they're perfectly dry. These are all classic displacement behaviors. It's how they release nervous energy. The cat is trying to calm itself down. This analogy just makes it all click into place, doesn't it? Just like a nervous person might bite their nails or tap their foot, a cat will groom or yawn or scratch to deal with its own stress and inner conflict. It's a subconscious trick to diffuse a tense moment. So when you see it, what you're really seeing is a cat trying to manage its own anxiety.
Okay, so now that we're getting better at understanding them, how do we talk back? How do we respond in a way that actually builds trust instead of accidentally breaking it? Well, it all starts with letting them have a voice in the conversation.
This is the cat consent test, and let me tell you, it is a game changer. Instead of just reaching down to pet your cat whenever you feel like it, try this. Just offer your hand, hold it a few inches away, and wait. Let them be the one to make the first move. By giving them the choice to engage or to walk away, you're telling them in their own language, I respect your boundaries. And that builds an incredible amount of trust.
Now, when we talk about behavior in general, this is the golden rule. So many of the old ways of disciplining our pets are just wrong, especially for cats. They don't learn from punishment. They just learn to be afraid, and that fear completely shatters the bond you're trying to build.
Just take a look at this comparison. Yelling at your cat or grabbing a spray bottle doesn't teach them that scratching the sofa is wrong. What it teaches them is that you are scary and unpredictable. Instead, the most powerful thing you can do is ignore the behavior you don't want and reward the behavior you do want. Redirect them to a scratching post, and when they use it, give them praise or a treat. You're not punishing the bad, you're celebrating the good. When you put all of these pieces together, when you really listen with your eyes, when you read their body language, and when you respond with respect, you're not just managing bad habits anymore. You're starting an entirely new conversation. And really, that's what this is all about. Understanding. It's the foundation of any good relationship, and that's just as true for our pets. When you take the time to learn their language, you're showing them that they are seen, that they are heard, and that they are safe. And that is how you transform just owning a pet into having a true, deep, and affectionate bond. So, I'll leave you with this question. Your cat has been talking to you this entire time, all along. Now that you finally know how to listen, what new conversations are you going to have?